Hi, I'm Daniel, and Minions Device Group has finally released after many years. It was supposed to be out in 2020, then 2021, but got delayed another year. They waited a while for this, even putting Sing 2 before it. This review is an important one for me because last year I made a video about Minions that became my most viewed with almost 60,000 at the moment. I'm glad that it got views because the movie is actually amazing, as the title stated, but even as an Illumination offender, I was a bit worried for this movie because the first trailer was weak for looking like a bad story. The second trailer was better, but I thought most of it didn't look funny. To give the trailers credit in some department, they weren't as spoiler as the studio does normally. There are clips from the climax but it doesn't explain it, so Illumination might be improving their trailers at least. Does this live up to Minions in the first two Despicable Me movies, or has this franchise failed? This film takes place in the early 1970s, a couple of years after Minions, and a year before Despicable Me in the timeline. Plot is about a young Gru auditioning as yacht in his favourite villain team, the Vicious Six, and does it by stealing a magical amulet from there. Unfortunately, it was traded away, leading to Gru being kidnapped. It's up to the Minions to save him. I thought before, ever since the Minions sequel was announced, that this wasn't needed. Credits and Minions did enough to fill the gaps, and there is no need for a film in between that. While I still think it is kind of true, that doesn't stop the movie working at what it is. Can forget how there's no reason past movies to exist, because it feels like the writers are having fun. It doesn't seem like they are only baby entertainment. If it was, this movie wouldn't have a 5-minute star but outgrew all the minions. This film explores the idea of villains and how they tie to an almost real world, similar to Minions. This film still has ties to the franchise with cameos there. One I am happy with, because I previously said the only thing needed explaining from this. One thing that needs to be considered is that it's not very much of a sequel to Minions, as there's no mention of Sky Overkill or the Queen. I knew this beforehand that it is just another Despicable Me prequel, but something good is that they're still focusing the 3 minutes with Kevin, Stewart, and Bob. They have a side plot and do stuff. This is a new story that can be enjoyed from the Despicable Me perspective, and honestly can work standalone too. This continues what Minions does by being a good prequel, because it's not forced to end some way to set up another film. There's some themes here, despite this most being wacky comedy. The contrast of old and young and how both overlooked is done right for once. Descriptions in this video have been overhyping the movie. The story has feels like weird pacing, trying to do a lot, and being contrived. For the story to work, there's yacht contrivances thrown in like the writers were trapped in a corner. Climax is fun, but feels partially like a Deus Ex Machina. Also questions about one thing that I thought too much about, but I'm not going to mention for spoiler reasons. The story isn't always great, but overall works quite well. The comedy for the most part is retained from the franchise. Well, it's not great as some parts like the Otto flashback drag on, and there is predictable type of humour. That's not all of the humour, as a younger Gru's lines especially, and the dynamic of the 3 minions could fill many movies. That's not suggesting more of the franchise, but if they keep up like this, I wouldn't mind it. This movie is fun and entertaining, and I'll probably want to rewatch it soon. The animation has noticeably improved, with the texture and lighting being incredible. The new characters are cool designs, and I like the look of this franchise. There is some silhouette styles during the training scene too. This movie is more typical and not stylized like job of animation is becoming, with the cinematography being standard here. However, this doesn't mean it's bad by any means. The characters are and have always been a major focus of this franchise and most Illumination films. So how does Minions devise a group present its characters? Gru is younger and I still really like his voice used here. I don't know if that's unpopular or not. His version of the character is similar, but his younger age shows more vulnerableness from him. He is the villain, but is likable and sympathetic, especially his interaction with another character. The film has emotions to their interactions. It could have been done more, but I like what we got, and makes this film worthy of Despicable Me. The villains of the movie are the Team Vicious Six, who have cool looking designs. Bell Bottom is the only one with personality, and the others on the side, but that is okay. They are missing from the middle, but it makes sense when the whole movie is about villains. And what's a Minions movie without the Minions themselves? Kevin, Stewart, and Bob are the most iconic trio, and I like their scenes here. They don't have individual arcs, but work as a unit of characters. Then there's Otto, who's the new minion and is annoying. It could be worse that these are not getting in the way of the main three, but I think most agree about this. Also, new minions exist like this causes theories about cloning. The rest of the minions only appear at the start, and that is for better, not having a big group around. Something this and the original minions do well is have minor characters be still great. Like the old trainer, the biker guy, and more have the very personalities. While yes, this movie isn't a good Minions, I wasn't expecting anyone near that high. I can't understand why someone might think this is. It made me happy that this is the quality it is because of the franchise means a lot to me. It continues the concept brought up while being fresh round that made me pleasantly surprised with it. In conclusion, I give Minions the Rise of Gru 8.5 out of 10 and a new recommendation for non-hater. It's a high rating and I think it fits. The recommendation is for most people to go watch it. It's not going to convince people already hate the Minions, but it does a lot great. The Despicable Me franchise is almost one of the best, but 3 is putting it down. I can hopefully take back Illumination's going downhill. I hope Mario isn't bad, and the head of Illumination claiming they'll take risks is exciting. Some will still hate this movie and they can, but a lot more are going to turn around on Illumination. This year, DreamWorks and Illumination are doing better than Pixar. I like their movies, but they weren't one of their best. This was in a cinema, and none might dislike the experience, but the kids were actually watching the movie. There was excitement at a certain cameo. At the film's end, there wasn't applause. The cinema treated it like a celebration with these balloons. Here I am on the channel without a mask on. The World pretended a 250th subscriber special, for being a sequel to the most viewed video, although I'm not there yet. End.